Hello people, it's BroTrainer7 here today with another review video. This video has been requested from a friend of mine. And the game that I'll be reviewing is Pokken Tournament DX for the Switch. And so without further ado, let's get into it. I'm not going to go into the story of this game, to be honest, because I've forgotten half of it, but here goes. It involves the Synergy Stone and Mewtwo. Well, I think that's it. What I can tell you that the Synergy Stone does involve the Synergy Burst in fighters later on, but I'll get more into that in the gameplay. The Synergy Burst, I mean. But what I can tell you, if you've not heard of this game, it's basically Pokemon Tekken. That's Pokemon and Tekken together. In terms of gameplay, I think this is probably one of the smoothest fighters on the Switch. At least the serious fighting games. In terms of gameplay, it's not button mashing at all. It's more strategic thinking. And more importantly, practice. But in order to hone your skills, there is actually a dojo where you can practice in. It's under the practice option on the map. And that teaches you the basics of the game. You know, like guards and counters and, you know, countering holds and stuff. But I'll tell you now, you know, as a quick guide to it, how the counters, attacks and grab mechanics work. Grab counters counter, basically, and counters attack, obviously, and attack basically counters grab. But having said that, grab counters the protect. But if you hold the protect too much, it will shatter. So try not to overuse it. But I think this is a mechanic that is wisely put in, because if you protect too much, people are just going to keep protecting all the time. It's going to be dull. But also there are various classes of fighter, such as the power fighter, for example Machamp, the technical fighter, which is Gardevoir, the speed fighter, which is Weavile, as an example, and then you have the standard fighter, which is basically all well-rounded. And an example I can give for that is Blaziken, which I tend to use quite a lot, but not as much as Charizard, because Charizard's like your favourite fighter in the game. And all these fighters have their own traits, all these types of fighters to which playstyle you prefer. It kind of takes out the guesswork, to be honest. See what kind of fighters they are, or like, you know, Street Fighter and other fighting games like that. But it's not only fighters in this game that you use, you also use assist Pokemon as well, which you get 2 of, but you can only choose 1 per round. But I like this, it mixes up the battle for you, or the fight, or whatever you want to call it. But there are 3 categories of these though as well, and they are attack, which basically does what it says on the tin, attacks your opponent. Enhance, which either enhances your stats, like speed and attack or defense, or it restores HP. Cresselia's good for that, or Espeon. Or Disrupts, which lowers your opponent's stats, such as attack. But also, you also get chase sets as well. These are standard, synergy, pressure, and support focuses. Also, you have special and whimsical, but I won't go into them. That's why they're on the screen being displayed now as we're speaking. And with all these options as a fighter, you know, going into a fight, it adds depth to the gameplay, I find. But let's get in the controller aspect. I tend to find the Switch controller, you know, the Pro controller, seems to be good at handling this. But the best one to use is the Pokken controller, which is exclusively for Pokken Tournament. It does feel a lot more, you know, a lot more, what's the best word for it? A lot more comfortable. And a lot easier to use. All the buttons are in the right places and stuff like that. And it doesn't really need a joystick, this game, which I find is odd for a 3D fighter. But it's not all 3D. You have 2 phases. And these are dual phase, which is basically looks like a 2D fighter. and also field phase, which basically makes it a 3D fighter, so you can move about the field and move about and dodge attacks and things like that, which I enjoy. But also, this is my favourite part about the gameplay, the synergy burst. There's a meter bottom left hand corner of the screen, and when it fills up, you get to do a move which is called a synergy burst by pressing L and R at the same time, or simultaneously if you want to use big words. But anyway, when that bar is filled, obviously you press the 2 shoulder buttons and it does a cinematic move, providing it hits the opponent. If you're in field phase, try to be when it's just not moving, or as I prefer it, to do it in a dual phase. It's more likely to hit, providing your opponent's not moved out the way or protecting. Timing is key for this bit, which I find a lot of players online tend not to use it. I do, I like showing off. There are many things to do in the Ferrum region, such as the Ferrum League, where you challenge yourself to become better and level up your partner Pokemon. There are also special events on the map as well, where you go through the story, you open it up through that way. Obviously there's wireless play, multiplayer play and Wi-Fi, and in the Wi-Fi section you can record your videos and your battle videos and stuff and review them. If you look at the previous videos in my channel, I probably don't do that enough. We also have the dojo, which we discussed earlier, but just to recap, that basically teaches you how to play the game. And on the map it says My Town. That's basically just your profile settings and where you allocate points to your Pokemon. I should talk about that a little bit more, the point allocation bit. So the long and short of it, the more you use a certain fighter, you can upgrade certain attacks. Well, not certain attacks, but certain stats, such as attack, defense, strategy and synergy. This basically gives you an upper hand in battle. Also, in the My Town section on the map, it's not only point allocation. You get to customize your character as well. So as you go through the game, you earn money, so you can unlock clothing and other things and backgrounds and stuff like that. And you also get to see how many wins you've had, whether it's online, ranked or unranked, and things like that. And there's one last part of the map that I should mention, which I quite enjoy, is the daily tasks that you get to do. So every day you go into the game, it gives you a task to do, and once you've completed that task, it also adds points to your Pokemon, certain Pokemon that's involved in it. I've put that up on the screen to show you as an example. There are new things added to this game as well, hence the DX bit. And this is added characters from the arcade version of the game, such as Scizor, and new coming to the series altogether, the Decidueye from Sun and Moon. The Decidueye is good, in my opinion anyway. Its synergy burst is hard to miss or avoid depending if you're against it or you're using it. Also, there is DLC in the form of an expansion pass, and the fighting characters included in this expansion pass are Aegislash, which is a technical kind of fighter, and Blastoise, which is more power focused. Not only do you get fighters, you also get support sets as well. And set number 1 is Mega Rayquaza and Mimikyu, and the other set is Mew and Celebi. But there's one thing I don't get, and I really do not understand why they've done this. They've added Krogunk as a fighter. Krogunk is with Sylveon as a support set, so I don't know what they were thinking. Krogunk is on the speed tier as well, which I think they should have had, Greninja into it. Greninja would have been a better bet for Krogunk, but I suspect there's balancing issues, so can't fault them for that. Right, my final thoughts time. With careful consideration and owning this game for well over a year now, I will give this game 8.5 out of 10. To me, in my opinion, this is the best fighting game on the Switch. It's not because I'm a Pokemon fan, but I think it's brilliant. Especially the depth of the fighting, plus you have the support sets and the cheering sets as well. I think this is a very good game. Adds a lot of strategy and got quite a bit to think about. And that's why I think it does deserve 8.5 out of 10. And not to mention, you don't need to get the full enjoyment out of it by buying the DLC. Thank you very much for watching. If you do like this, please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications and please share. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye bye.